Follow Paddy Power on Snapchat. The username is @ThePaddyPower, and we promise there won't be any boring snaps about gigs, the weather or the gym.
Hello and welcome to this Monday Postcast. I'm Maddie Plale. I'm joined in the studio by Tom Park. We've got Justin O'Hanlon and Paul Binfield from Paddy Power on the line as well. Coming up, we're going to preview the 2 Grade 3s at Naas on Sunday, the Gladness Stakes and the Alleged Stakes. And of course, we're going to look back on what's been a hectic Easter period where there was something for everyone, whether it be jumps or flats, including Maidan and Fairyhouse. But first off, we'll jump straight on in there and look back on a thrilling Irish Grand National yesterday, won by General Principle. Of course, it's looking unlikely now that he's going to go to Aintree, but we can talk about Gordon Elliott's chance in the race. Of course, by winning this, he won himself a large chunk of prize money to go in towards the Irish Trainers' Championship. Binners, have you got any betting on the Aintree Grand National and any reflections on yesterday's win?
Yeah, it was great to see Wexford Wizard, the man in the saddle, JJ Slevin, win the race, Maddie. It was everybody could see the atrocious conditions. I can understand why the whole General Principle isn't going to go to the Aintree Grand National. He's a 50-1 chance for that. He's number 54 in the market anyway, so I don't know if he'd get in off that. But the market, Total Recall, 10-1 favourite, 14 Tiger Roll, 16 Raf Vinden, 20 See You at Midnight, 25 The Dutchman, 33 Bar, and as I said, General Principle, the heroic Irish Grand National winner, 50-1.
Excellent. Now, Justin, you were at Cork yesterday, is that right?
I was, yeah.
Yeah, how was life at Cork? I heard you had a bit of a mishap in the press room.
Well, part of the ceiling collapsed with water dripping down onto a ceiling tile for years, I'd say. But it chose yesterday to collapse, but luckily no one was underneath it, and we... us being the stoic and heroic pressmen we carried on regardless.
Brilliant. So what was your take of the Irish Grand National? It was a thrilling finish considering they'd gone, 3 miles, 5 furlongs over all those fences and so many of them covered by, a few lengths at the end.
Oh, it was fantastic. I mean, let's have more heavy, almost unraceable ground Irish Nationals if yesterday is anything to go by. Absolutely fantastic finish. And, summed up the season so far with, the width of a cigarette paper between Gordon and Willie at the finish. Isle of Hope and Dreams, he's been an unlucky horse in these big staying chases this season. Gets done on the line by General Principle. Some hard luck stories in behind, particularly False and Blue, who I think probably would have won had he not been broadside jump in the last, which would have given a Gordon a 1-2 in the race. But no, fantastic race. And as you say, I think you can more or less count General Principle out of Aintree after going through a slog like that. But no, it was a terrific race. You'd give him a big chance in the race next year if he's still around, though.
I think False and Blue was the unlucky one for me as well. Any thoughts on the English Grand National at this stage? Have you got a fancy?
Actually, of Gordon's, I don't really fancy any of them. I think Tiger Roll is the shortest in the betting, but he's quite a small horse. I'd have my although the fences at Aintree aren't what they were. They aren't anything near what they were. I think I've derided it as a 4.5 mile flat race in the last couple of years. But even so, I think he's probably on the small side to be jumping those fences. I did like the return of See You at Midnight the other week at Newbury. If I was I haven't really studied the race in any depth to date, but I was going to maybe side with one at this stage. He might be close to being it, but okay. I'll have more thoughts on it in a week's time. Maybe.
Yeah. Still lots of water to go under the bridge until then. Parky, any thoughts on the Irish Grand National? You were on Doonacross with me, weren't you? That didn't last very long.
Doonacross and Snow Falcon, and it was all over within about 2 fences of each other. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I didn't see the winner actually being the winner until he actually crossed the line. It was impressive to go. It was an impressive performance in that ground. Bell's Hill, I thought, ran a stormer off such a heavy weight. I mean, it's amazing how horses seem to know what the last fence is. And obviously, False and Blue was a bit unfortunate by Bell's Hill's mishap. I mean, he's not going to get in at Aintree even if he was to go, but I couldn't see anything from that race. Even if they were to run at Aintree, that was as gruelling as you get. As for Aintree, unfortunately, I think given all the rain that's around, my 2 original fancies probably going to struggle in the conditions because I liked Vicente and Manella Rocco. People question Manella Rocco's jumping, but on good ground, when there's been good in the description, he's actually jumped fine. And obviously he's beaten Native Rivers twice at Cheltenham. So I think he would have a good chance if it was good ground. He'll stay all day. But I'm just not sure whether we're going to get that. And I wonder whether people are missing the obvious now. Everyone's gone very quiet on Black Lion, but a horse who's clearly likes the course, ran a stormer in the race last year. I mean, he looked the winner, probably went a bit too soon.
Do you not worry about him staying that little bit further? Do you think something will stay on past him? Or?
I'm not sure whether... I think he stays all right. I think he just went a bit too soon last year. I think they probably didn't help his chances by him bolting up over there early in the season because, I mean, he's probably carrying, what, £8-9 more than he would have if he'd have not bolted up in that race. That would be my only concern if he's carrying a bit too much weight. But, you know, the national, the good horses seem to come to the fore now. And I do think that, like, a horse who's got form over them fences is certainly an each way bet.
Okay, brilliant. So moving on now to Loreena's performance, of course, at Fairyhouse, where she won her first Grade 1. She's just absolutely electric, isn't she? We'll go to Binners first and get his impression on Loreena's win. And then have we got any betting on her for various Cheltenham races, Binners?
Yeah, I thought I'd come up with the Mayor's Hurdle and the Champion Hurdle for you, Maddie. Loreena, yeah, what can you say? I mean, I'm not after timing here. Before Cheltenham, I think I said on here that she was compared favourably with Let's Dance and Limony, and she's lived up to that. She ran off a mark of 150 yesterday, so I guess she'll be maybe up another £6 for that, which would put her very close to Sam Crow if they were to meet at Punchestown. That would be a fascinating clash, but I'll leave that to you experts. Looking at the Mayor's Hurdle, it's 3-1 Loreena, 7-2 Apples Jade, 6 Benny Day Dure, and 14 Apple Shakira. And then if we look at the Champion Hurdle, she's a bigger price for that. But we go 5-2 Bouverdare, 8 Melon, 8 Sam Crow, 12 Somerville Boy, and it's 14 Loreena. So, but I'd be interested to see what people like Tom Park and Justin think, which race they'll go for.
Have you got any betting on her for the Arkle? Because I think a few people think she'll go for that. I'll see Parky nodding in the corner.
Okay, right. Well, there we go. Hang on 1 second. Yeah, 7-1 Sam Crow and 10-1 Loreena. So
there we
two
go.
Names the two that could line up at Punchestown maybe next year over fences.
Excellent. So I've got two main questions for you guys, and that's who would win, Loreena or Sam Crow at Punchestown, and what would you do with Loreena next season? So I did a poll yesterday saying who the public thought would win if Sam Crow and Loreena did face off at Punchestown, and 72% were in favour of Sam Crow and just 28% of Loreena, which is quite surprising. Parky, I'll go to you first. We had a chat about this yesterday, and we were both a bit in the Loreena camp, weren't we?
Yeah, I mean, I've never been in the Sam Crow hype club, so to speak. I mean, he well and truly proved that at Cheltenham. He was brilliant. But I backed Loreena at a good price at Cheltenham. It was made a very good day that Thursday. So she's like a horse that's in favour with me at the moment, and I just think she's brilliant. I think maybe I'm a sucker for mares, I don't know, but I really think she's got everything. She's big, scopy. She proved she stayed a bit further. She's got speed to burn. If anything, the one flaw in her is she's just a little. I think she's just doing everything so easy, but she does sometimes. She's a bit clumsy at some of her hurdles. I think, as I said, I don't think it's a jumping problem, and when she's under pressure at the end of the race, she's never really made any mistakes. But if Sam Crow, I would back Loreena against Sam Crow. I think she'd probably be a bigger price as well.
And what would you do with her next season, Arkle? I think maybe you talk about her jumping, but you know, would she respect a fence more than she'd respect a hurdle as well?
I think she would. Yeah, I mean, look at this. You only have to look at her in the flesh, and she's a big, scopy mare. She's crying out for fences. I think. Listen, she's brilliant over hurdles, but you take one look at her, and I just really hope they don't go down the mare's hurdle route.
Yeah, that old, boring route.
That would be my worry, but different owners too. Rich Richie's, she's not in them colours, so maybe they will take go for the glory race. And listen, I've backed her at good prices already for the Arco, but I wouldn't put anyone off even at 10-1 because I think she's very, very good and she'll be even better over fences.
Okay, Justin, so where would you go with Loreena, and who would your money be on if she was to face Sam Crow at Punchestown?
Well, it's a different proposition, her taking on geldings to taking on the mares that she's taken on so far. I mean, it was an egg and spoon race in Cheltenham that she won. It was a better race now at Fairyhouse, but she beat Lackaneen Leader, who wouldn't be in the same sport as Sam Crow, never mind, in the same parish. Sam Crow would pick up any novice and carry him, as far as I'm concerned, this season. I'd love to see the two of them meet in the Champion Hurdle next season, but that's not going to happen. I think if Willie has his way, probably it's 110% that she'll go for the mare's hurdle. But we'll see. Maybe the owners will want to take on. Well, of course, we don't know where Sam Crow's going to go yet.
That's true.
But the dream would be for the two of them to meet in the Champion Hurdle next season. They are the two best novices around, I think. But Sam Crow is significantly better than any novice there is at the moment.
Okay, healthy disagreement there.
No guarantee that the two of them meet at Punchestown either.
Yeah, very true.
Of course, I'd say that's probably more. That's probably a long shot.
We could dream, Justin. Let us dream. What else impressed you guys on Sunday? Of course, Palisator. He's a bit of a reformed character now. He won that Grade 2 novice hurdle, and Albion Photo, of course, winning the Grade 1 Ryanair Gold Cup. Binners, your thoughts on those, and have we got any updated prices for their future targets?
Well, we will have, but the one I really took out of it, yes, was Earn de So. I loved it in the Devonish chase. Unfortunate, Dr. Phoenix took a tumble, but Earn de So just keeps on winning. 21 of his 28 starts now, and looking forward to Punchestown, actually, the champion chase there. Earn de So, he's unchanged at 6-1 for that, but if all of them turn up, it's 5-4 Min, 2 Duvan, 4 Great Field. That would be a great clash if all of those turned up on the day.
Do you think?
How could you be impressed with Earn de So? I mean, Dr. Phoenix had gone by him and was going away from him when he fell. It was probably Earn de So's best performance of the season.
I think he was still on the bridle, Justin. I think he would have won.
He was not. God's sake.
I think he was, Justin. And
okay.
But
I know what to say, Benners. It's a game of opinions, but
hey, listen.
Justin, you think Dr. Phoenix would have won easily then?
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
there's no other conclusion you can come to. He was back on the bridle. He'd taken it up. He was going 2 lengths away from him when he fell. There's no doubt in the world that he would have won.
I think me and Parky in the office were of the opinion that Dr. Phoenix probably would have won anyway, but we'll never know. That's racing.
Well, I backed Earn de So, and I thought that I felt very lucky at the end of the race. The problem with Earn de So, he always looks like he's on the bridle, but the horse, when Sprinter Sacra beat him in the champion chase, he just went by. Ruby Walsh hadn't asked him any questions. It was the same in the Ryanair last year. I feel like the jockey must know when there's something left in the tank, and I think Dr. Phoenix would have just gone on by and, probably won by 3 or 4 lengths. And I don't think he'd have got serious on Earn de So either. But he's a brilliant racehorse. I mean, his
record speaks for itself, doesn't it?
Yeah, and to be fair to Earn de So, the rest of the field had either pulled up or about 25 lengths behind. So, and it was a tired fall from Dr. Phoenix. So he's just forced that mistake from just galloping them into the ground. I do think over 2 miles in them conditions, he is better. But he's getting older now, and the way that he runs, it's amazing that he's had the longevity that he's had already. I certainly wouldn't be in a rush to back him next time. And as I said, I did back him yesterday, and I felt a bit lucky. But whether I'd be backing him again, I'm not so sure.
Okay, moving on now, it's competition time. Every week our sponsors Paddy Power give a free £25 or €25 bet to the first name out of the hat who answers the following question successfully. All you have to do is tweet your answer using the hashtag Postcast. This week's question is, which jockey rode General Principle to victory in the Irish Grand National at Fairyhouse on Monday? Don't forget, tweet your answer using the hashtag Postcast. The winning entry will be revealed on Friday's Postcast. Good luck.
Success ain't earned, it's bought. That's why at Paddy Power, we paid the big bucks for the best tech nerds in the world to develop our new, fastest ever app. Download the new app from the App Store or Play Store now. 18+, begambleaware.org.
Okay, welcome back to this Monday Postcast. We're going to talk about Meydan on Saturday, of course, where it was the Dubai World Cup and some excellent supporting races too. We'll start off with Vazirabad, who I know you're really fond of, Parky. He's just a class apart, isn't he?
Oh, he's brilliant. Brilliant racehorse. Makes even... I give a tip to all my friends on the WhatsApp group, and I showed them the replay after, and they were all like, "Oh, that's brilliant." He's a brilliant racehorse to watch because he's got some turn of foot. Don't know if I'd want to ride him. He looks a bit tricky, but I mean, he looked like he had everything to do turning in, and he almost got there too soon in the end. Brilliant racehorse. Would love to see him take on an Order of St George at Ascot. Whether that'll happen or not, I'm not sure. But as Order of St George, equally as classy. But I'm not convinced that we see the best of him at Ascot. This is a horse who's been 3rd and 4th in the Arc. You would think, I know he won the Gold Cup the year before and he won on Champions Day this year, but he's just not had that same spark about him at Ascot. And I would probably be in the Vazirabad camp if they were to take each other on.
Excellent. Binners, do we have any betting on Vazirabad for the Ascot Gold Cup? I think this year, more than in past years, they'd be likely to go.
Yeah, possibly, Maddie. Order of St George 7-2, Stradivarius 7, along with Vazirabad, who was 9-1 before the race. Big Orange on 7, and then it's 8 bar.
Okay, excellent. Now, Ben Battle, of course, he could go to the Prince of Wales's now. He was very impressive, but he's likely to bump into Enable and Cracksman if he goes there. And Thunder Snow, of course, winning the Dubai World Cup. I think the Queen Anne would be the likely race for him this year. That's a really open division. Binners, any betting on those two horses?
Yeah, interestingly, we put Ben Battle into the Queen Anne as 5-1 favourite after Dubai, and then it's Le Bravido 7, 8 Trey Fleur, Lancaster Bomber, and Thunder Snow. But then your man Lewis Porteous got onto me late on Saturday and asked for a price on Ben Battle for the Prince of Wales. And as you say, of course, if he runs in that, he's got to go up against the crack 2 of Crackman and Enable. And for that race, we make it 3 Crackman, 5 Enable, 12 Ben Battle, and 14 Cliffs and Mohair and Eminence. So from a bookie's point of view, we think that Ben Battle would have a much better chance in the Queen Anne and a better chance than Thunder Snow.
That's very interesting, of course, because they were both impressive. Justin, any thoughts on Meydan on Saturday?
Well, I don't know about Ben Battle. I mean, he was fairly well held by the 3-year-olds last year, wasn't he? Apart from when he won the race on Ascot. Whether a winter in Meydan can improve a horse that much when they go back to turf in Britain during the summer has to be arguable, and I'd probably say the same for Thunder Snow as well. Mendelssohn was obviously the highlight on Saturday. That was an immense performance, and I think you can say arguably that he's probably a better horse on dirt now than he is on turf, and that obviously bodes very well for his chances in Churchill Downs next month.
Yeah, now Mendelssohn's exciting. We're going to move on to him next anyway. It begs the question whether Ryan Moore's going to ride him in the Kentucky Derby or Saxon Warrior in the 2000 Guineas. Obviously, he's already won the Guineas many times, but that's home for him. You know, or is he going to want to travel and win the Kentucky Derby for Aidan O'Brien for the first time? I think Mendelssohn is favourite now, so it'll be a tricky decision for him to make. Binners, I believe you've got betting on this?
Yeah, we think he'll go to Churchill Downs, Maddie. We make Ryan Moore 4-6 to ride there, 11-10 at Newmarket. When I phoned up for this market, the traders took a long time working this out, and I have to say our head of Irish racing, Alan Byrne, was very much in the Newmarket camp, and even though we make that the outsider of the two, he was a Newmarket man. Looking at the prize money, it's $1.2 million for the first place at Kentucky, or £283,000 at Newmarket. I guess it doesn't matter too much financially to Ryan Moore, and the Kentucky Derby would be on his bucket list. But we think he's going to Kentucky anyway, Maddie.
I was expecting Newmarket to be favourite because that's what we're used to. But I think he's got less to prove, Ryan Moore, at Newmarket, hasn't he? So maybe he'd want to go on that journey to Kentucky. Parky, thoughts on Mendelssohn and where Ryan's going to go?
I mean, he was brilliant at the weekend. Look, this is one of the most prestigious races in the world, and one that Ryan Moore's probably not going to get a chance to win too often. Certainly not a favourite's chance. I think that Saxon Warrior is an absolute beast, and I think he's a good thing for the Guineas. So whether he'd give up a winning opportunity, look, dirt racing is as it is. I
was going to say the UAE Derby in the past hasn't been a great trial for the Kentucky Derby.
And look, he pinged the stalls, he hit the front, he grabbed the rail, and the race was won. He might not find things so easy in Churchill, but I do think that he's not going to get many opportunities to win this, and I think he'll go to America, I think. But listen, I think that Saxon Warrior will win he'd probably win the Guineas with me on it. So whether Ryan Moore or no Ryan Moore, I think Saxon Warrior will win the Guineas still.
Okay, nice strong opinions there. Before we move on, just a quick eye-catcher, tracker horse, or your best anti-post bet following the Easter period. That would be great. I'll go to you first, Spinners.
I'll go for Getaway John, Maddie. Won the bumper yesterday while a lot of people were eating their tea. I think he'll now go to Punchestown, and I like Gordon Elliott's comment about he galloped like hell. So I think he could well follow up at Punchestown.
Yeah, I was on brace yourself there, so I wasn't too pleased with that, but he was very impressive, all right. Justin?
Well, I hope Tom is completely wrong about Saxon Warrior and the Guineas, as I've an each-way docket on Gustav Klimt going back to last summer. So I hope you're wrong about that one, Tom. On that, I'll come back to it in a second, but on that subject, I don't think it's any decision at all. Moore will go to America. How many chances is he going to get to win a Kentucky Derby? If he's riding for Aidan O'Brien, he's going to be riding the favourite for the Guineas every year. So I think it's a no-brainer that he goes there. As for a horse coming out of the weekend, I might pick an obscure one for you if you like.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
There was a flat meeting at Cork on Saturday, and a trainer called Mick Mulvaney, who won the Irish Lincoln with On the Go Again last weekend, introduced a very nice filly there called Passing Trade, who was third in what I thought was quite a nice maiden. Should be one to follow on better ground.
Excellent. Passing Trade.
It won't be in the anti-post list.
Yeah, very well backed. A big price is that one, Justin.
Was it? Okay, I didn't notice that.
So bit of each-way money for that. Yeah.
All right. Well, they know they have a decent one, so I'd say she'd be one to follow on good ground.
Okay, so Parky, other than Saxon Warrior, any thoughts from this weekend?
I was quite impressed in defeat of Shattered Love. I think she was good at Cheltenham. Undersaw was a bit disappointing. That Ryanair race is going to be there for the taking next year if. Waiting patiently, he's had another setback. I'm not sure whether he'll even go to Cheltenham. So it's wide open. And, she's a Cheltenham winner over the trip. 16-1 for the Ryanair, I think, is a big price. I've said my thoughts on Loreena as well. I'd love to see her go for the Arkle. But yeah, Shattered Love. And Saxon Warrior is 25-1, I think, for the Guineas and the Derby, which is a huge price because he is a monster.
Interesting to bring up Shattered Love there, actually, Tom, because Album Photo I thought ran in the wrong race at Cheltenham. I thought he should have run in the JLT. I thought Monolith the same. And I think that might have been the JLT might have been a very different race if the two of them had run in that instead of in the RSA. So they'll be big opponents for Shattered Love et al. in the Ryanair potentially next year.
Do you think Album Photo would have beaten Shattered Love had Shattered Love pinged the last as opposed to running down it a bit?
Well, Album Photo, he does his best work from the last to the line over a trip like that, and I think there's every chance that that would have happened.
They're very similar prices,
But,
I think. Yeah, I wouldn't put you off Alban Foot anyway. I think there were two very good horses, actually, yeah.
Yeah, and Shattered Love, of course, she would get the allowance. I'd love to see her in a Gold Cup. I mean, she beat Presenting Percy earlier on in the season. They're unlikely to go that way. I think against Town they'll just aim her in the easiest race. But yeah, that's an exciting proposition for next season. We'll take a quick break now, and then we'll talk about Nace on Sunday.
Check out Paddy's Rewards Club. Simply place 5 bets of £10 or more across any sport in a week, and you'll get a free £10 bet the next week. T&Cs apply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
Welcome back to this Monday Postcast. We're going to move on to previewing Nace on Sunday, where we've got the Group 3 Gladness Stakes and the Group 3 Alleged Stakes. Starting off with the Gladness Stakes at 3:30, 7 furlongs. Celebration actually won it in 2012. Aidan O'Brien, he saddles Minstrel Stakes winner Spirit of Valour here, and popular veteran Gordon Lord Byron's also engaged. There's a whole host of runners. We don't know who's going to turn up yet. Binners, I presume you've not got any betting on this for us just yet?
No betting, Maddie. I had a quick look at the race, and you just mentioned that Spirit of Valour. That horse looks to me like a 7 furlong specialist, beating a fag paper in the Jersey Stakes last year. And another thing in his favour, he won his maiden on very soft ground at Nace.
OK, brilliant. So conditions sure to suit Spirit of Valour. Justin, did you have much of a look at the Gladness Stakes?
A little bit. I know Spirit of Valour has won on soft ground before, but he is a fast ground horse really, and it's going to be. We're not due any drying weather. I think the ground is probably going to be desperate at Nace on Sunday for flat horses. You mentioned Gordon Lord Byron. He's good for one of these a year at this stage, and he ran a fair race out in Qatar there back a couple of months ago, I think, didn't he? On I'm sure the ground over there is probably like lightning. So you wouldn't be pulled off him, but it's going to be won by a soft ground horse that's good early in the season. Flight Risk is one of those that comes into that. Psychedelic Funk, I think, surprised Gerlines how well he handled heavy ground when he won, when he beat a real mudlark in a Group 3 at Tipperary back in October. And you go down among the 3-year-olds. There's not much among the 3-year-olds now there probably might not even be a 3-year-old runner in the race this year for a race that was considered very much an Irish Guineas trial back years ago. I think it's actually there's 2 3-year-olds entered. I can't imagine either of them running. This is one to wait and see what's declared. But I'll give a shout to Jim Bulger's Smash Williams, who came back to form when he was only beaten ahead in a pretty good handicap at Nace on opening day. And he's capable. If he's capable of getting back to what he looked like he was going to be as a 2-year-old. This is the sort of race that he could win. OK, Smash Williams for Justin. Parky, any early thoughts on the Gladness Stakes?
I mean, if Spirit of Valour turns up, he's well clear on rating. I think the only one near him on ratings is Gordon Lord Byron, and he'll be 10 this year. So, I mean, that would be some performance if the old boy could win a race like that. But like Justin said, I mean, the conditions could be terrible at the weekend. So, we don't know what's going to run. I think Psychedelic Funk is a good bit better than his rating at the moment. He was quite impressive on heavy ground, like Justin said, and I don't think he'd be without a chance. But Spirit of Valour was impressive over 7 furlongs at Ascot, and this is probably his trip. Whether he gets the ground, I'm not so sure. OK, we'll wait and have to see on that. Moving on to the 405 at Nace, the Group 3 1 mile 2 furlong Alleged Stakes. Past winners include Dylan Thomas. Parish Hall won it twice, and of course Zuckerver, a very good mare to win it as well. Aidan O'Brien, he's got loads in there, as you'd expect, including Cliffs of Moher and St Ledger winner Capri. Last year's winner Air Pilot could run for Rafe Beckett as well. Binners, quick thoughts on this one?
Yeah, you've just mentioned a couple of Aidan O'Briens. I think he holds the key to this race. He's got a number in there that could win it. Idaho and Deauville. Idaho ran in the Shima Classic on Saturday with slightly disappointing 8 of 10, but he'd probably be good enough to win this, as would Deauville, who ran in the Group 1 Hong Kong Cup last time in December. Once again, closer to last than first, but should be able to win this. So I'll wait and see what Aidan runs, really, Maddie.
OK, Justin?
Yeah, pretty much the same as Binners there. I think I'll wait and see what Aidan runs. He has some interesting entries. I think Yucatan is one of the more interesting entries he has in the race. But of those, I think that are the most that are likely to run, Air Pilot. I think he won the race last year for Race Beckett. He's a mudlark and has had a win over in France. I think before Narrasmi. So I think he's probably pretty certain to go there. Jessica Harrington runs Beautiful Morning, who hasn't been seen since winning a listed race at Yarmouth, but she's very fond of testing ground. And one right down there at the bottom is a filly I have a very high opinion of Dermot Wells, called Tocco d'Amore. Won 2 out of 2 last year. Very impressive when winning a listed race at Naas in November over a mile and a half, mile and a quarter. Stepping back to a mile and a quarter won't bother her at all. Wells are probably a couple of weeks behind, as he said there, over the weekend, but if she gets there, I think she could well take a bit of beating.
Okay, excellent. Over to you, Parky, for the final word.
I love Capri. I would love to see him back out again. Had a brilliant day at the Ledger last year. He's a brilliant horse, and he will have his conditions, I think. And that Ledger, I promise
this
you.
Trip, not a question mark for him?
I don't think he's short of speed. I mean, you automatically think with a Ledger winner that, yeah, he's a stay. I mean, I don't think he's short of speed. He is an Irish Derby winner after all. And that Ledger, I promise you, will work out so well. I thought it was a race of the highest class for that kind of race. And there'll be some winners this season come out of that. Yucatan is very interesting.
They put him away, didn't they, after winning a trial last year, just to give him some time, didn't they?
And I think he's... Against Capri, he beat Capri on his last start and was beaten the start before by Capri. So, you know, at that stage of the season, there wasn't too much between them. Obviously, Capri improved no end, but there's no reason why Yucatan can't show similar improvement this season. The one that I will be against this season is Cliffs of Moher. He after his Derby run, he never really showed the same form. I think he was a little bit unlucky, if I remember, in the Irish Champion Stakes, but apart from that, he was beaten 3, 4, 5, 6 lengths every start, and until he shows an improvement in form, I wouldn't be in a rush to back him for any race. I hope he doesn't end up like US Army Ranger, but at the moment he's got a similar way of going down.
Declining
downhill,
a bit. So Capri for Parky then. That should about do us for today. Thanks for joining us. If you enjoy these podcasts, make sure you rate and subscribe to us on iTunes, and we'll be back on Friday with the Weekend Tipping Postcast. Make sure you don't miss that one.
Follow Paddy Power on Snapchat. The username is ThePaddyPower, and we promise there won't be any boring snaps about gigs, the weather or the gym.